TG Tutorials.
I'm reliable. Hey guys, it's Matt here, and welcome to another episode of TG Tutorials. So, if you're like me, you got a copy of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Now, unlike me, I had a problem with Amazon. So, that's topics, that's content for a different video. Just gonna talk about that elsewhere. Don't want to clog that up here, but I've either talked about it or I haven't yet. If I have, then that'll be either listed description somewhere up here or description box down below. Either way, I got this just fine eventually, and I also got a Nintendo Switch as well. So I'm sure a lot of you content creators out there, a lot of you guys on YouTube who want to either do reviews, Let's Plays, maybe some YouTube poop. I went back there. I went back to the year 2007 there for a second. If you guys want to do any of that stuff, then you're thinking, well, how do I use my Elgato to record my footage from my Nintendo Switch? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, because first I'm going to show you exactly what you need.
So the first thing you'll need is a Nintendo Switch. Now I know what you're thinking, Matt, this is obvious why you're bringing this up. Well, there is a good reason. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think you should get one brand new. And the reason why is because not only will there not be any potential complications with HDMI out or the screen or the Joy-Cons or anything like that, but also because they give you a free HDMI cable. And that will come up a little bit later. Getting one brand new should run you around $300. And the next thing you'll need is your Elgato. Now again, I understand this is one of those, well, duh, but here's the thing. If you get one brand new, they could also give you another free HDMI cable, and you're going to need a mini USB cable, and one will come and should come if you get this thing brand new. However, getting one brand new should run you around $100 to $150. And you'll also need a mini USB cable, like I mentioned earlier. Now, let's say you don't get the Elgato brand new. I didn't. So you're wondering where to get your mini USB and why you might need one. Well, you could get a mini USB online for around $5 to $10. And now for the last thing you'll need. Two. That's right, two HDMI cables. And that's why I said earlier that you could potentially get the Nintendo Switch new and the Elgato new and get two HDMI cables right there. Now, any old HDMI cable will work, so you could probably get one online for around $5 to $10.
And now that you know what you need, let me show you exactly how to do it.
The first thing you're going to do is take your first HDMI cable, plug that into your Nintendo Switch dock, and then take the other side of the HDMI cable and plug that into the HDMI in section of your Elgato. Now take your second HDMI cable, plug one half of that into the HDMI outside of the Elgato, and then the other side into your monitor of choice, be it TV monitor or desktop monitor, whatever it might be. And now's when that mini USB comes into play. So plug one half of that into that little USB port right there, and the other half of it into your computer, be it laptop, tower, whatever you're using to run the Elgato software. Speaking of software, go to elgato.com/en/gaming/downloads to download the software. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll be getting Game Capture for Windows. If you've installed everything correctly, you should have a shortcut right here if you wanted to have a shortcut. So I'm going to double click on that, and then the program will open. If you've set everything up correctly, then your screen should look just like this. Now, if it doesn't for some reason, we can actually go over to settings over here and see what the problem might be. So after clicking that button, there should be this screen coming up right here. Let's go over to capture, and let's see, you might not have it where it should be. I'm going to switch this over to Nintendo Switch. Also, when you do that, it'll immediately show that the input is HDMI, because of course there's no other input for the Switch, and maybe your analog input is actually not where it should be. It should be on HDMI, nothing else. Maybe for some reason your computer is having a hard time handling these other settings over here. Mine usually does. That's why I have that on standard. I also have profile on standard as well, and quality is closer, not to best, but is actually closer to good. And as you can see, I have none of these checked off because neither one applies to the Switch. And at this point, after doing all of that, if that was different, if any of these settings were off, your screen should have the gameplay footage on. Now moving over to picture, I would suggest not using any of these at all. I'm going to show you right now what happens when you use brightness either too low and if you use brightness too high. You're going to see that it's literally baked into the program, it's into the footage itself. I would suggest just resetting to default like I'm doing, and if you need to change any brightness or anything like that, do that in your video editing software of choice. Now moving over to audio over here, you can see by the way that even while I'm trying to record, this is how bad the computer is, using open broadcast software to try to show you guys what's going on, there's some lagging issues. Either way though, looking at audio, again, I would suggest doing anything with gain in your video editing software of choice. Moving over to profile, you can just add more profiles that way. And in advanced, really the only thing that shows up here is TV compatibility. If for some reason your system is flickering on and off on your television to black, you would need to adjust this. It's never really happened to me, so I just have it set on this default mode right here. Alright, so exiting out of that for some reason caused my computer to have a little bit of an issue. Either way, let's scroll down here to see some other features that you have with the system. So as you can tell, that's our Twitch. I'm signed into Twitch, but we're not really going to talk about live streaming much because it's just about generally recording footage. So scrolling down here, that's gameplay audio. You could turn it all the way down to 0 if you'd like. I'd rather not. You could just mute your general audio on your computer and record the gameplay audio in case you might need it in the future. Even if you mute it in your reviews, let's plays, whatever, still I would suggest leaving it on because you can't turn it on after you've turned it all the way off. Also, you can plug in mics, actually record stuff during your general playthrough. Personally, I like to record stuff after the fact, but again, if you want to do a let's play and do it in the moment, you can plug in a mic separately. Also, this helps you change your file name. I just leave it at My Great Capture because if I try to change it to one file name and then all of a sudden I forget to change it to the next one will still be the old file name. So I just leave it at My Great Capture and change it in post. That's the big red record button right there. The green button is a stream button. Again, not really relevant for this tutorial. And that blue button down there actually helps you record your audio in the moment. So when you press your gameplay, you would then press your audio record button, and then it'll record your mic after the fact. So yes, there's going to be a little bit of a delay with the mic and the gameplay footage, but again, you can edit that out later. And now let's go over to edit, and here's where things get a little bit interesting. So I don't use the edit portion. That's funny, that's an old recorded clip, really old one. So I don't really use the edited portion, but when you record a clip, you can actually edit it in the software itself. So if you don't have a different video editing software of choice, you can use this one, and then you can even upload stuff to your social media pages directly from the Elgato program. Do I do that? No, but you can, and that might work out well for you.
And look at that. Really wasn't that difficult, but yeah, you do have to use it docked. You can't use it on portable mode, which is frustrating from a little Joy-Cons. I want to be able to record as much as I can. I have seen that there are mods out there to actually turn your portable mode into, you can actually have an HDMI burned in there or something like that, but you have to pay a lot of money for that. I'm not doing that. I've already done a capture card thing with my 3DS, which I have done some tutorials on that when we first started them way back in the day. So yeah, not doing that for the Switch. That's a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, not interested. But if you do want to, I will link that down below. I'm not getting any kind of kickbacks from it or anything like that. I just want you guys to know, hey, this does exist if you're interested, and then I can maybe do a tutorial on that one day, but that's just a lot of money to spend, and I just spent money on a Switch. So it's like, I just bought my Switch. I think I'm good with the Switch as it is right now. But I want to say, if you guys have any questions down below, any concerns, comments, any suggestions for future videos, things like that, please comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. Love you all. Take care, and tune in next time for another episode of TG Tutorials. Alright guys, so thank you and see ya.